Hi, happy Friday, y'all. Just wanted to come live because I had a really cool talk with a client this week, and we were jamming out, and she was sharing some of her goals, and I had said something, it just like came out of my mouth for the first time the way that it did, and I was like, I'm gonna need to share on that one. So it was like midweek, but this is the first time I've been able to come live and share it with you. So I want to talk about playing the short game like the long game. And this is a conversation about law of attraction and about alignment. And so there are too many people who have an idea of what they want and can mostly tell you what they want, but they can't be specific enough, and because they haven't really taken the time to like get specific enough, and then also can't tell you all the steps to get there, right? Because we haven't intentionally acted like we could ever get there. We might have these, like, let's call them, pipe dreams, or we have these desires, but we don't treat them like real, actual, attainable goals. And one of my favorite examples of this is from The Secret, the documentary The Secret, which is on Netflix. Go to any of you, go watch that. And I think it's Bob Doyle who says, everybody wants the yacht lifestyle, but they don't know how much a yacht costs. They don't know how much gas for a yacht is. They don't know how much a crew for a yacht is. And they don't know how much it costs to put a yacht in a slip or a dock, right? And so we want this yacht lifestyle, but we don't even know how much a yacht lifestyle costs. So I get on a lot of calls, and I love coaching emotional intelligence and the emotional connection to our definition of success and our emotional intelligence when it comes to strategy for success. But people don't actually map it out, right? When I ask somebody, how much do you want to be making a month in your business? And they're like, I don't know, I think 10K. Hey, Kayla, thanks for saying hey. I don't know, 10K. And I'm like, what's your monthly budget? How much do you, like, what's your bills number? Like, how much do you need to be making a month? And they don't even know that. And so we're just like shooting, and it's like, it'd be like getting in your car with no destination, or just shooting an arrow and hope like it's gonna land somewhere, but you might not like where it lands. You might hit somebody with it, right? And so if we're not specific about our goals, and then I love to, set up a goal. Okay, you want to make $5,000 a month. What are 5 action items? What are 5 steps? Or what would be 5 milestones that would tell me or tell yourself that you are actually on the way to that goal, or that if you were doing these 5 things, that would be the actual result? And so when we start to break it down, then it becomes a whole nother game. But that's the long game. So let's say I want to be a New York Times bestseller, that's what I want to be, right? Like, that's my long game, is New York Times bestseller. Well, how would I play my short game? Would I quit every time I don't feel like writing? No, that's not what a New York Times bestseller does. Would I not promote my books? No. This is all short game stuff, right? What does it take? What does it take to be a New York Times bestseller? I have to sell $10,000 books in a day or an hour or something. I don't know, something ridiculous. But I don't even, I have no idea how I'm going to do that. But I do know what it takes to be an author. I know what it takes to sell a book. I know what it takes to market a book. I know and right now, I just left the post office sending 11 books out into the world, right? And so that's a short game, right? It's Friday afternoon. The old version of me on Friday afternoon at 5 would start drinking. Like, that was what she would do when she was 25 and even 28, is, it's Friday night. Let me sit on the couch, Netflix binge, go out with my friends, go to the football game, go do something, go to the bar, right? And that was a short game that wasn't in commitment with any sort of long game, right? But now, so I'm talking in speaking out of both sides of my mouth, like the short game and the long game. And so I'm going to keep bouncing back and forth. But when you know your long game desires, goals, and commitments, and you can break it down into milestones, as to say, what would it actually take for me to achieve that? Then you could actually play that game. Now, you don't, like, I want to say one more example. I hope it can come to me quickly, because it was such a perfect one, is like, when it comes time. So like, I know a lot of clients or people who want to start a business and they're like, I'll get serious about it when. That doesn't work. If you're serious about it now, it will manifest. If you think you're supposed to become some certain type of ready before your dream is going to manifest itself, or like again, for example, when I start a business is when I'll launch a website, is when I'll finish writing my book, is when I'll get a business bank account. That's not when you do that. You do that, and that a business makes, right? So when you open a business bank account and you incorporate, and you don't get clients first, you set yourself up to get clients. I know plenty of people who have this big, beautiful dream and they're waiting to get the client or have the customer first. Your customer, your reader, can't read your book that you haven't written. They can't be a fan of you if you haven't given them something to be a fan about, right? And so you have to show up. And that means every day. This is the short game. This week, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 1 year from now, what are you going to do every day for a year that would manifest that dream, that would bring that long game into your short game, that would bring that far out dream into your present reality? It doesn't come knock on your door and you're like, oh, I better get dressed, right? Like, no, you get dressed for the job. You show up, you be that person, and then you are magnetic for that. People are like, I want to work with her. I want to read her book. I want to buy from her. I want that product. I want him to show me how to do that thing, right? You're the person for the job because you've already displayed you're the person for the job. So you got to play that game today. You got to show up for that today. So play that short game. And the last thing I want to say is when you know those goals and you do that breakdown, and I do the breakdown with people. I do 30-minute discovery calls. If this is like, holy shit, I better get it in gear. It's like, if you're ready to do that, then message me and say, I'd like to book a 30-minute discovery call to break down, number one, to declare my goal fully. Vague goals, vague results. One of my favorite leaders, she's a coach, and she had shared with me, I don't know where the quote came from, is like, if you don't know where you're going, that's exactly where you'll end up. Right? It's like in the mystical wonders of what the hell am I doing here, or where are we, right? So if you're going to be vague about it, you're going to end up in the land of vagueness, and you're going to be disappointed and discouraged. And so you have to be clear and specific. I know that it can be scary to be clear and specific. I know it feels bold and brave to say, I want exactly this. I want to make this much money. I want to have this kind of impact. I want to live in this kind of house, drive this kind of car. I want to have this kind of relationship. I want to have this kind of health. It's scary because then you're setting yourself up for potential disappointment, but you're also setting yourself up for potential success. And it's very likely you'll face some disappointment. It's very likely you'll fall flat on your face, and you're going to get back up. And if you have the coaching and support, or whatever support structure that serves you, you're going to be able to get back up and go for it again. And that's what I mean about the short game. So when you know your goals, when you've declared clear and specific and attainable goals, and you break down all the steps in the middle, then every day when you're tempted to quit, when you're tempted to do something else, when you're tempted to follow your distraction or your impulse, and you can say, is this in alignment with the long game? Is this going to keep me on track or take me off road? Right? And then you can decide over and over and over again, I'm playing the short game for the long game. And so this is such a conversation. It was such a good conversation with my client in our call. And if you would love some support breaking down your goals, or just getting really clear about them, or you just need someone to help you believe in those goals. Hello, Tamara. Thanks for saying hey. If you need someone to help you believe in those goals, you got a friend in me. And so message me if you'd love to book a discovery call. It's 30 minutes complimentary. It is on me. And I just want to hear about what you're up to, what you're creating. Holy wow, this matches up with the book I was just listening on the way home. Perfect. And you guys, everything you want is attainable. It's so attainable, and it's likely. So I could go on forever, and I love to, and I do go on forever in my podcast. So please be sure to tune into the podcast. Today we talked about accessing the superconscious realm with Ramin Azizi, and it was so good. And it's a lot of this is like accessing your higher self, and that was in alignment with the last thing I wanted to say was sometimes our goals are not in alignment with our highest self and the highest good of all. So that's usually why we don't attain those goals, is because they are materialistic from an egocentric place. And so the reason I want to say that is because I'm talking about the goals of delivering your gift in the world, of serving, and that doesn't mean that we all start a business. That does not mean that we all write a book. But if you have goals to live well and be healthy and wealthy and wise and taken care of and living in fluidity, right? Life doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be a struggle. And when we can end that commitment, that identity that does struggle, and we're thriving in life, of course we're delivering our gifts, even if that means inside of a 9-to-5, even if that means inside of just parenthood, right? Like there's no job too small, but you being your highest and best self is your job. That's your greatest job, because then no matter what you're doing it wholly and fully and with love and compassion. And that's the way we want to have an impact on people. So that's the kind of goals that I'm talking about. And it looks like all sorts of things for each of us. For me, it looks like being a New York Times bestseller and a world stage speaker and a coach and all the things, and leading a company that serves millions. Like, I love what I do. And whatever it is for you, you will love what you do when you get clear about those goals and you are playing the short game to fulfill the long game. Happy freaking Friday. I love y'all. I hope this amped you up. I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope you go share the gift that you are with the world. I love you. Have a great night.